Hello folks, how you doing? And welcome to our channel. So this is the video where we look at the past month, which is November, and at the time of filming it's the 25th of November. So we've still got 5 days left, so anything that comes after this will not be in this video, where we just basically pull some cards and looking at certain areas, the four main players in the royal family, etc. And see what comes up with the past year. What has it brought to the table? Revisit some of the things we read during the past month, etc. Okay, so I have written some notes which are just here. Andrew, do you know what I did this morning? I Googled, and I do this every time I do this video, what happened the past month in November. And I it was a stranger. I found very little. It was weird. Um, but what I did find out, which blew my mind, was the fact that Catherine is extending an olive branch to Beatrice and Eugenie by giving them an invite to the Carol concert this year. And I'm sorry, but I really struggle with that. I know people shouldn't be interested. Where did that come from? I know people, God, I know people shouldn't be punished for the sins of the father, but they are implicated in it. They are implicated in it. And I just think it's a little bit too soon. When are this royal family going to get it? This is what they did with Andrew. Um, let's pull some cards on that. George, and I'm reading on George because he appeared at the Royal Albert Hall. Was it Royal Albert Hall? No, it wasn't Royal Albert Hall. Victorian Albert. What would that be? That museum. Royal Albert. I'm sure it is a Royal Albert Hall. The V&A, whatever it is, on Armistice Day. So we're starting to see him. I have heard some crazy shit online where people are saying that it's time for George to step up. It's like he's 12. Anyway, and King's Health, there's as we come into the end of November, there's more online now in relation to the fact that the King's Health is struggling more and more. It's been kept away from the public eye. A lot of his visits are very controlled, very short snaps. Mercury retrograde has been a little bitch this month, and she's doing it's doing. Not, I don't think she's a she, that planet. I think it's a he. I think it's affecting everybody, but anyway, it's not for long now, only a few days. That his visits are short and snappy. Um, that William is getting more and more ready to take over, to step into power, etc. So let's see what's going to come up. Am I going to look back at some of the things we've read on this year, this month? So I'm going on to my studio to have a look at the royal thing. We did the Mountbatten thing, Trump royal videos, Meghan and Kardashians. Andrew's payoff, Sarah's mental collapse. God. William's plans for the future. Do you know there's not been a lot, has there? There's not been a lot, really. Apart from the usual. Let's have a look. Let's see what the decks have to say. So, this is the After Tarot by Corrine Kenner. November 2025 for the UK royal family. Ooh, okay. So discussions for the future, continuous discussions for the future. Okay, Three of Pentacles flipped out as well, which again, it's about getting things done, leaving behind what legacy is going to be left behind. Judgment, more things coming up to be looked at. A lot of this isn't in mainstream. A lot of this is stuff you really have to look at. So certain podcasts, videos, interviews, um, where more and more people are discussing. Oh, the Diana Rama stuff's in November, isn't it? Diana Rama. I'll write that down. Diana Rama. So there's going to be more and more and more of it. Okay. The family, that's interesting because at the bottom of the deck we've got the Hanged Man, which is about, I think this is the UK public and what you're being fed. You're not being fed the full story. You're still being fed this, that it's the perfect family, the perfect going on, but behind closed doors, it's not. We've got three, six. That's interesting. And it said 6-3. What 6-3 would that be? 3rd of June or 6th of March? 3 and a 6, 6-3. Write those numbers in your diary. Not how it's going to come out 3-6, depending on where you're watching this. So that could be, if you're in the States, it could be I said November then. March 6th, or is it 3rd of June? Anyway, 8 of Pentacles, weird. Temperance and the Emperor, the King at the centre of it all. So November has been a month of trying to keep the status quo going, despite all of this stuff coming up, clearing, being all the skeletons coming out of the closet, still trying to show a united front, still trying to show the spotlight on the Wales family and the future of it, whilst what comes after the Emperor? I think this is, I know people get triggered when we say this, but it's a bit close. But if you're watching this type of stuff, you should actually believe in death and that death happens, and we shouldn't be so about death. They are planning for the ending of the king. The ending of the king, I think, is possibly a lot sooner. It's a lot sooner than we realise, but it will still be a shock. It'll still be a shock when it comes. I did mention in a video recently that it's going to be a huge portal, itchy nose. So this is what are my tarot boxes all over? OSHO Tarot. I'll put them all down below, all the decks that I'm using. November, UK royal family, clinging to the past with their head in the clouds, clinging to the past. And politics. What's going on behind the mask of purity, the mask of innocence, the Tony Blair smile. Um, ooh, awkward. That's not good. It's really not good, actually. Um, I got the family card stuck to me. I think this here is Catherine not wanting to see it, not wanting to see what she's taking on, the complications of what she's taking on. Interesting. Let's have a look at this one. This one I'm going to be using is the Forecaster Oracle by Trish James Oracles. Okay. Oops. November 2025. November 2025. Merging alliances, joining forces. Power flow and energy. I wonder if this thing with Beatrice and Eugenia trying to keep them on side is because of the secrets they hold and the potential of them. Interesting. Watch that space in that area. Right. Let's have a look at some of the things on this list. Let's revisit Andrew. It's possibly going to be the same old stuff because it is with Andrew at the minute. Andrew, Mountbatten, Windsor, November 2025. Offers, Ace of Pentacles, Page of Cups at the bottom. Oops, let's keep pulling them. The transition, bargaining, he's bargaining with someone. Deceit, trickery. Knight of Pentacles. Two of Wands. King of Wands. Three of Cups. Page of Swords. An energy that's all over the place. Let's do an oracle card. Andrew, November. The burden. Whoa, ordinariness. Stepping into ordinariness from a prince to a normal person. It is funny, and I can't remember who it was, said that their form, it says everything when they think it's a form of punishment, losing your title, and everything that comes with it when that's everybody else's everyday life of not having titles. That's how not really connected they are to the people. But look at these cards here. The burden. We keep getting cockerels for him, don't we? The clown, the court jester, the uphill struggle. This isn't just going to go away. They want it to go away, but it's not. It's too out there. Too many people have too much to say, and I'm not knocking people. They've got a lot to say. Um, One of the things I did pick up was that they're not being as honest with us as they should be with the Seven of Swords. Um, Not so much they say to be fair to Andrew, because really not really. But it's not just Andrew that's at fault within the royal system. There are many other people at fault within the royal system that are now looking after their own interests, don't want to be tarred with the brush. Um, Andrew, Mountbatten Windsor, November. Not a lot to say other than more revelations, more plotting and planning, transitional shifts and change, and rising tide, inundation. Inundation? So everything is done, said is coming out, there's no stopping it. Will he be asked to speak in an official capacity about all of this? Hmm, interesting. It's a weird card, isn't it? Let's do a clarifier for that. Is it a weird card? Temperance. Two of Swords. So in our country, it'd be going into court. I'm not sure what it would be in America, but will he be called to give evidence? It's a weird energy. There's something weird. Will he be called to give evidence? He's too hot to handle, apparently. They really don't want the truth of all of this to come out because it's a lot deeper than we think. They really don't want to see how, trafficked people, victims have had to fulfill the needs of the rich, the powerful, the big, powerful institutions of our world. They don't want to see this. They want to try and keep it hidden. Trophy energy as well. Um, let's see what comes after. Oh, just not the emperor. Well, the queen, the old queen protected him. The fool stops it. The king stepping in. Is the king the? Why is my deck mixed up? Is the monarch going to protect Andrew, the monarch of the United Kingdom? Is the monarch going to protect Andrew? If he did talk, it'd all be very controlled, a controlled narrative. Put it this way, it's not just going to be allowed to just go off and speak, um, because there's too much at stake. Interesting, right? Let's move on. Let's not stay in Andrew's energy for too long. What else? Let's have a look at this thing with Kate, Catherine, and you, Beatrice and Eugenie. I'm tempted to use this deck first. Catherine and Beatrice and Eugenie, inviting them to her carol service. Silent speech censorship has just flipped out. Okay. Economic pressure, cost of living. Is this the pressure from the royal family? Her lifestyle, the fact that she's in there now and she's part of them, she's one of them. Ethical override, logic versus empathy. Taking her heart out. Not physically, obviously. We hope not anyway. She's holding her heart. That's also got like a robotic. Is it a robot that? Let me just do it in my magnifying. For some reason, I've said this on here. It magnifies it for me a little bit. Yeah, like it's like a robotic energy, a robotic hand. Catherine with the long hair. Partial human. I'm not saying physically partial human and robot, but turning parts of herself off. The nurturer off, mother of a daughter off. Global impact affects many, the world watching. Vital wellness, healthcare. This one, a few of you have been commenting about Catherine and food, and yes, I get you what you're saying. It's come. I'm only saying it because a similar card's coming up here. Targeted strike, deliberate attack. State of emergency, urgent response. Should we do two more cards? Power plays, tactical maneuver. Forced hand, control, or coercion. So my feeling here for Catherine, she's in a vulnerable position. I was shown the fact of Diana and the fact that Diana wouldn't play the game, which is why she was, do you know what I mean? Got rid of in one way, shape, or form by the powers that were systems. Because I've said before, it's all hierarchy. Catherine is being, she's having to sacrifice part of herself to be able to do this because any you just wouldn't want that at your carol service. There's this energy of having her hand forced. What part of her is she going to be sacrificing next? This is the problem with Kat. This is why she ends up losing her energy, why she ends up becoming as she does, because she's allowing the system to manipulate her. Um, she's allowing herself to be puppet mastered. The true Catherine, the core energy, being silenced. The pressure of the system that she's married into and is now trapped in. Um, Robotic. Being involved in the power plays. I'm also being shown it's very much like the old energies of royal family and the power plays that they did. It's still very much a male energy, a male run um organization. It's not a nice thing actually, to be quite honest. Anyway, that's what's going on there. So no, she's not fully invested in it, but she's allowing herself to be forced hand, etc. She's switching off that vital part of her and allowing herself to become a robot of the system. The vital wellness card, healthcare. Healing looks different to a lot of people. Some people think if they read lots of books on trauma, they're healing. They're not. Some people think if they just do a daily meditation, they're healing to some extent. But healing requires life changes, deep life changes. And it feels as though she's doing all the right things on her Instagram, doing all the Mother Earth stuff that they're doing, and saying this connection to nature, which I feel she's got. But she's not actually going into the underbelly of stuff. It's almost like if I do a bit of this, I can still hold on to this. And it's like, how long can she hold that for? It's this card that does it for me, the forced hand. Um, it's a male hand that's forcing her to do something. Anyway, moving on. Right, George. What does this signify? I'm going to stay with this card. For this deck, I'm actually quite liking it. So, Prince George. What's this one? Strategic pivot, course correct. So they're using George as well. They're using George. Twats. Not the system, not George, obviously. Um, so George has been you. What's this? Unfolding drama scandals. They're using George here to paper over the unfolding scandals that are, God, coming out with the royal family. Um, Catherine wasn't happy about George being there, which is why in some of the pictures and some of the footage she did appear a bit perturbed, strange, hold back. Um, just a minute. Clear path, clarity, clearing the way for George. George is the future. Forget about Andrew. Forget about all the other paedophile friends that we have. Shh, shh, Claire, God, Jesus. I don't go anywhere near that Mountbatten because, woo! Anyway, or Jimmy, or anything else. So they're using Catherine, using George. I mean, George, no judgment there because he's a child. It's not his responsibility to step up to Grandad. Funny how I said Grandad and not the institution. Charles, you're such a dick. Anyway, wash away, cleanse. Ooh, what's that? Ooh, these decks. I tell you what, Tracy, if you're watching, there's no getting away from anything with your decks. It's straight to the point, which is why I like them. Shelterless crisis displacement. Outdated dismantling. George is struggling as well. Obsolete systems. George, I think, is a very highly sensitive person. And I think I mean, you can see it. Anyone with any form of discernment can see that George struggles in public. You can see it in his eyes. Um, and the pressure that is being placed on him. They're claiming that they're not putting pressure on him, but allowing him to be brought out like that in this circumstance with this energy is the cards are very clear. The cards are speaking up very loudly. That looks like JFK as well, that doesn't it? That looks like a JFK to my American followers. Looks like a young JFK, that doesn't it? Obsolete systems, outdated systems that are just still claiming their victims. Shelterless crisis. Animal signal instinct speaks. It's all about survival instincts. Using a child, using the feminine energy as a survival. Harmful exposure, toxins or virus. Um, Succession, bloody hell. Succession plan and next phase. It's very cold, calculated. It's very usy energy. Um, it's about the next step. I'll pull on George how George feels because he's still young. Um, but yes, anyway, you've got the drift with that. Let's move on. King's health, Charles's health. So keep checking. I keep having this, especially with this Mercury retrograde that I'm not going to be filming. King's health, King's health, King's health, please. King's health. Hmm. Flight path travel. They're getting ready to travel. Making plans for his funeral, making plans for his ending. Where is he going to die? Where does he want to die? I don't know whether this is because of what I know about him anyway, but I'm feeling there's a part of him that possibly High Grove in an ideal world. Diplomatic fallout here has fallen out, tension about the world and where it is now. Shelterless crisis, displacement. We'll read them and then read them if that makes sense. We'll pull them, then read them. Cosmic frontier, above and beyond, as above, so below. So there is the energy of thinking about death, the ending. Celestial trigger, right. Cosmic influence in his death. I said this and it's all going to be, I mean, death is aligned anyway. But this, when Charles dies, astrologers, you will do this anyway. It's all in the astrology when he goes. There's a celestial trigger. I don't know if it's a geomagnetic storm, a solar flare, but literally something celestial, something energetically, boom, comes in and it takes him out. Yes. And it's a huge portal for the UK royal family, UK collective, ceasefire negotiations. This feels like paring back on plans for the future for him. Trying to get life as peaceful as possible for him. Spotlight flux, entertainment, thinking about how they can get him seen. Keep pulling. Smart grid rising, urban evolution. And one more card, vital wellness, healthcare. So looking after his health, focus on his health, um, the revolution of the people of the United Kingdom and the displacement of power. Um, okay, card from here. King Charles, health, November. The miser. Ooh, ooh, Charles. Sorrow, deep sorrow, the miser. I've said this with his will. His will be interesting. I know we'll never get to see it, but his will, that will of Charles's, is going to be interesting. We'll never get to see it. You'll get to see little bits of it, but that will. Um, like literally, what he even wants to take it with him. Wouldn't surprise me if it's, I don't know, gets buried with a crown. Oh, he can't get buried with a crown. Stop it, Claire. Um, ooh, what I would want to read on is Camilla and that tiara. Camilla is currently working her way through all those raw jewels. I can't keep up. But isn't this the same? Do you know what? This is the same tiara that they said Meghan couldn't wear because of its history, and yet Eugenie wore it, and now Camilla's wore it. That's a strange one as well. But I'm only saying it because this here, the miser, there's so much you can say, not wanting to let go of power, wanting to take something with him, something definitely in his will. We'll look at that when he's gone. But anyway, yeah, let's look at Camilla and this tiara, the one with the green stones in. Camilla and the tiara, Camilla and the tiara. It won't, my brain knows what tiara it is with the green stones in. The cards will know. The energy around that, behind that with Camilla. Civil unrest, people taking action. People have noted what was said to Meghan and the tiara. Also, as well, the history of it, the checkered history of it. Financial abundance, growth, and expansion. Look at me enjoying the tiaras. It's another one that she's pulled out of the box. Also, as well, there's issues within the family and that tiara and the usage of that tiara. Final echo, loss and mourning, making us enjoying it while she can, enjoying being in all of those binary things that she wears and the jewels and being queen and clear path, clarity. Nothing will get in my way. I will wear what I want. I'm queen. Wash away, cleanse. This wash away cleanse card's coming in because I feel it's about this old stagnant energy within the family that's needing to be cleared, because it's so blocked, it can't move forward. Information surge and data dump. Again, it could even be a way of deflecting away from other things. Structure reform overall or update. Again, whoever's advising her really isn't doing a good job. Especially her being the troublesome stepmother in all of this, allegedly. Weather anomaly, strange events, lots of strange events going on right now. Shelterless crisis, displacement, power grabs, people showing their power, one more card, and cosmic frontier above and beyond. So how do you sum that up? Let's do a tarot card for Camilla and this tiara. The sun. I want to be seen. I want to forget my past. I don't care about the history of the tiara, either the historical history or the fact it's tied in with all the other stuff and the weddings and things. Um, Even the fact it's tied into Eugenia's wedding and we remember Andrew taking it and all of that. It's just very me, myself, and I. And it's almost like you just have to get over it energy. It's that old patriarchal energy of just get over it, move on. Okay, whatever, Trevor. Right, let's look at the two. I know. When I get to this point, people always say yes, yes, yes. But what about Anne? What about Edward? I know all that, but we don't have the time. We don't have the time to read on everybody. So the king and the queen, November, November 2025. The king and queen, November 2025. Oh God, there's a card that's flipped up. I don't know what that is. Just give me a minute. The king and queen, November 2025. Planning the future after the death. I think a lot of Charles's will is going to be around Camilla. Um, Battling their demons, that was a card that flipped up. We'll take another one. And justice. They're looking into his will. I keep mentioning his will. Bringing balance into their life, sorting out titles, houses. I mean, when I heard it, I was like, no, 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 I will not believe this. But part of me knew it was possibly true that the plan is for Camilla to have Royal Lodge after the king's died. And I just think, why would you, like, from an energy perspective, when I'm going to move into a home, yeah, I don't know what's going on in that home because it's not going to be a castle or a palace, but they know exactly what's wrong with letting the energy settle. Um, and even that makes me wonder what really is the reason why they want Andrew out of there. Is it really because he's hurt another human being or other human beings? Or is it because they just want it for the queen, the part of the old queen? They just want to get, you know what I mean? It's all very. Why does Charles really want Andrew out of Royal Lodge? Illusion. And look at him taking something in return. Three of Pentacles. Structure, buildings, regeneration. Be interesting. Be interesting to see. Right. I'm going to leave those two there because, like I said, it's very, you know, end of life stuff and the usual stuff that we get. William and Catherine. William and Catherine. Ooh, what's going on here? The Magician just flipped up in the deck. William and Catherine, November 2025. William and Catherine. There's another card flipped up for the past has flipped up in the deck. William and Catherine. William and Catherine. November. The Hermit. Queen of Cups. Oh, we didn't read on Diana Armour, did we? Ace of Swords. I will try and don't let me forget. And cleaning up. I'm gonna pull more for these two. The Hanged Man. Rejection. Four of Cups. The past has come out again. Okay. Leaving their home to start a new life in another home. Um, Making changes, cleaning up. Appeasing William, Catherine appeasing William with something here. I mean, this also, can you see that? Could this also be, I know that's a male, but I mean, what a few of you have mentioned in the comments about Catherine and especially at these London varieties, how slim she was, rejecting. So is she into old patterns again? Did she fully heal that, recover from that, the past card? Let's have a card for that. Because there was this period where she had all the cuts on her hand where you bite your fingers and you bruise your knuckles and stuff. Um, yeah, she's struggling again. I mean, it could have been this flare up with having to push George out and the pressure of having Beatrice and Eugenia there and all of that. So anyway, we'll leave that. So let's Diana Rama. One of the things apparently that they told Diana was that William had a watch with a bug on it. Not like a caterpillar bug, but like a recording device. I mean, I hope she actually found out that. Oh, I hope that's not true. I don't think it's true. Um, but imagine what that would have done to her. Anyway, so the Sun and the Three of Cups has dropped out. We didn't even ask a question at that. I didn't ask a question, so let's keep pulling. So Diana Rama, its impact. Diana Rama, Diana Rama, Diana Rama. The Hanged Man. Similar cards to what we had from this whole thing with Diana Rama, the book, has brought up a lot of Williams. I mean, that if if it's true that they told her that her son was tapping her, with the watch on, if she's never sorted that out with William, that is baggage to carry. So we've got the Hanged Man again, um, the King of Wands energy, the Young Prince, the Page of Cups. That's where a lot of his temper comes from. It's where a lot of his brooding energy. So he struggled. And I'm wondering as well if one of the reasons why he didn't. Oh, I keep forgetting, I don't know why they call it. Festival of Remembrance. Glad you remembered it. Festival of Remembrance. I know people say he was flying back from somewhere. I think there was a lot more going on there, to be honest. And I think there was a flare up with him. And I don't know, needing to rest or whatever. Um, Ace of Swords. Yeah, there's something. Four of Cups, rejection here. There's been a flare up with them both this past November in relation to all the Andrew stuff, um, the Diana Rama stuff, bringing up old wounds from his childhood, um, insecurities, fears, which then affects Catherine and all the stuff with Catherine and George, and it's just got too much for them. Let's have a card from this deck. Which deck? Ooh, both decks. Let's go for it. God. Completion pattern. Loads falling out here. God, what's going on? God. Ordinance the Fool. What's this? The burden. It's a burden carrying that card. That card literally flew out. Burden. There's a lot here, so let's put them back in. William and Catherine. William and Catherine. Oh, God. What's going on? Thunderbolt. Creator. One more card. William and Catherine, November 2025, and compromise. Needing to find a compromise. What's that? Oh, God. I was like, what's that word? Because it was spelt incorrectly. Isolation. So there's an isolation energy there with them. Shocks, thunderbolts, ascension symptoms, the creator, compromise, having to find a way forward that suits them both. And I think that's us having covered everything. Right, so thanks for watching. The royal predictions will be out on this week on Thursday instead of the global news. So today, this is released today. Couple more days' time on Thursday, the royal predictions will land. We've already looked at some of the royal predictions in the world predictions video. Thank you for watching. Please do like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you get to the bottom of this card, if you get to the get to the bottom of something, if you get to the end of this video and you would like to leave a comment, leave me a diamond emoji for that tiara that Camilla wore. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.